Powered by the Zapata Brand Studio. This is Straight Outta JerZey with Jersey Jay-Z.
What's up, guys? I am Joe Zapata. I'm here with the WWE superstar, ECW superstar, and son of legendary Bill Dundee, the one and only Jamie Dundee. JC Ice, what's up?
Hey, brother, what's happening, man? It says Big Joe Zapata, baby. How are you, brother? How are you, brother? Yeah, I want to come to your house and eat some fucking lasagna or something. I got to.
Man, you're looking good, man. How you feeling taking all those bumps? I know. How you feeling, man, these days?
Man, I tell you what, I don't know. I feel good, man. Life is good. Life is better than it's ever been, man, for real. Because I'm out of the wrestling business. As much as I love the wrestling business, I hate the wrestling business. You know what I mean? It is who I am. It's all I am, but it's all I know. But also, I fucking hate it as much as I love it. I went to that convention last month or last week or whatever. And it's not the same, bro. It's just different, man. I don't. It's not like it used to be, man. And I guess I'm more mad about, I can't do it no more, I guess. That bothers me, man, because that's all I know, man. I don't know what else to do. I walk around my fucking yard in circles, man, because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what my purpose is, bro.
Did you have a lot of pressure because your father was Bill Dundee when you were wrestling?
Not so much as like Brian Christopher had, because his daddy was Lawler, and Lawler had heat with a lot of people. Shit like my daddy always got along with everybody. My daddy was a pretty good dude in the wrestling business. Not at home, he was a prick at home, man. But I mean, for real. But in the wrestling business, I was just Bill Dundee. My whole entire life, I've been Bill's boy, and I guess that's all I'll probably ever be, is just Bill's boy. Especially in this area, because I got a tattoo right here on my arm, and it says "Fuck you, I'm Bill's boy." Because in my whole entire life, everywhere I went, anything I did, it was, "Oh, you Bill's boy." Police pull me over, they get my ID, they say, "God damn, Bill Dundee boy out here on the dope." He paved the way, so I drove down it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Now, is it a true story that your dad had a gun pointed at him from Macho Man?
The story goes, I finally saw the real tip. I finally got my dad always said Randy beat him up because, well, he didn't beat him up. He sucker punched him. He set him up. My dad was a tough old dude, man. So my dad's coming out of the gym, and a guy named Thunderbolt Patterson, my dad hadn't seen in 20 years, who was working for ICW. It started over, my dad had a pair of tights, and they said Macho Man on the ass, okay? And I remember when I was a kid, I remember that they were just the little singlet ones, right? And I guess Randy had just started using Macho Man, so he sent word over and told my dad, "Don't fucking use them tights, man. That ain't don't fucking put that name on there." And, Randy was a crazy dude any fucking way, because another funny story I'll get to, when I was 21 and he came into USWA. But anyway, my dad and him, they had an altercation. My dad came out of the gym, and my dad was leaned up on his Cadillac, and he's talking to this guy, Thunderbolt Patterson. And Randy comes over the fucking hood of the car, and Bill hears it. And as he turns, Randy hits him with a fucking pipe, and it breaks this bone right here in my old man's eye. And my dad always said it was over the Jarrett's not booking the Savages, and they figured if they fucked Dundee up, Dundee versus Lawler, they'd have to hire him. But that's not so now. Come to find out, it's because of them Macho Man tights, and my dad wouldn't quit wearing them. So Randy came and fucked him up. But he did pull the pistol. It was Angelo Poffo, Randy Poffo. Leaping Lenny wasn't there. It was Angelo, Randy, and somebody else. I forget who my dad said. And Thunderbolt Patterson, who set my dad up to talk to him while they come over to. If Bill would have went down, they'd have messed him up, man. But because Bill didn't go down, Randy starts to promo. "Oh, wait a minute, Bill, you got a gun, brother." And he goes into and Bill's like, "You're fucking right, I got a gun." And he pulls the gun out. And right at the time when Randy jumps on his back, and the daddy comes around, and Bill puts the gun in his fucking face and says, "Get him off my back or you're all dead." And they all get down, they go back to the van, and they fucking go all about their day. And when my dad gets home, the police are there to arrest him for pulling the gun on the Savages.
Oh my God.
They set me up, bro. So anyway, it was all just thrown out and left alone. But yeah, so he did pull a gun on Savage, but for protection more than less. But 20 years later, right? It's 1995, and me and Wolfie's working in USWA, and we're on top. And they bring Savage in because that's when the WWF had just joined USWA. And, they were kind of, every Monday night they send in a guy for Lawler to beat in Memphis. You know what I mean? Lex Luger come through, Bret Hart come through, and they send Randy in. So Randy has to make the loop, Memphis on Monday, Louisville on Tuesday, Evansville on Wednesday, and Nashville Saturday. So we're making the loop. And on Tuesday night, we go to the titty bar. Me and Randy and my partner Wolfie, and we go out to the titty bar. And so I say to Randy, I say, Randy, when I was a little kid, man, you was my hero, bro. Because my dad was a prick at home and shit, right? And Randy done beat him up. And so he goes, yeah, little Dundee. I go, yeah, brother, you was my fucking hero. I said, because you beat the shit out of my dad in a parking lot. And look, he goes, oh, heavy drugs, man. Heavy drugs, man. And we start laughing and he'd leave it at that. So Wolfie says, ask him about it. I said, fuck no. I just asked him about it. And that's what he said. We're going to leave it alone, man. I'm not going to press the issue, But he said, heavy drugs, little Dundee, heavy drugs. But it was funny because he's like, I was your hero. I'm like, yeah, you beat the shit out of my asshole dad. It was great. I said, me and my mom appreciated it.
You started wrestling when you were what, 18, 17?
Oh, well, yeah, managing at 16. I went on the road with my dad at 16 when he was my dad was the booker for Ron Fuller. He had opened up a company called USA in Knoxville. Continental had split. Back then it was Continental, and Continental had split, and Ron Fuller opened it up, and it was called USA, and he hired my dad as the booker. And I was on the road with my dad, 15, 16 in the Memphis area, just selling pictures for my dad, just putting me in, just making me ride with him so he didn't ride by himself, all that shit, And so then I'm about 16 and I swear I'll never forget how he got me to take the job. He said, hey, boy, he said, Ron Fuller wants to switch me heel up here in Knoxville. He said, and I told him the only way I would do it is if you would be my manager, because, he didn't want to let me. I was wild back then. Well, I've always been wild, but I was really wild at 16, especially for a 16-year-old. But anyway, he said, I told him I got you off the streets. You're on the road with me, selling my gimmicks. And it was I made $15 a night as a manager. I said, why the fuck am I making $15? He said, I don't know. I told Ron. He said, I told Ron Fuller, yeah, my boy be my manager. Ron said, well, how much money you need? Bill said, I don't know, $10-15 a night. But I rode with my dad. He paid the gas, bought the food, bought the room. But I was like $15. What the fuck, dude? It's 1988. What do you mean $15?
Yeah. Now, beautiful Bobby.
That's how it started.
Now, is beautiful Bobby Eaton your dad's brother-in-law?
My brother-in-law married my sister.
Oh, married your sister, Bobby Eaton. No, he was a great
bless his heart. Bless his heart. He married my crazy fucking sister. You people think I'm crazy. Tracy Smothers, you say, if you think Dundee's crazy, you ought to meet his fucking sister.
After you started wrestling, when did you decide to go into the WWE? How did you get that?
I never decided that. They decided it for me.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because it's one of those things. My dad, I was raised in Nashville, right? I grew up in Nashville. And in our territory days, it was Memphis on Monday, Louisville on Tuesday, Evansville on Wednesday, and Nashville on Saturday. And Thursday and Friday were little towns within a 80-mile radius of wherever the area was. You know what I mean? Yep. So always, it was inevitable I was going to grow up and be a fucking wrestler. There was no way I wasn't. I was always in trouble at school for fucking putting people in holes and I never shut up. I always talked, and my teachers literally would give me $5 to lay my head down on my desk so they could teach their fucking class. They say, Mr. Dundee, we'll give you $5 if you just lay your, and I'd get a C, just passing, just enough to move me on, because I never was a quiet, shy kind of guy. So it was inevitable I was going to be a wrestler, man. And then, funny, that's what I said. I never forget the words my dad used. And these words right here will make any 16-year-old want to do this. But I was 8 years old when I started selling kisses to fat chicks for $1. I'd go to the matches with my dad and I'd say, them old women stink, man, and they fat and they smell like beer and cigarettes and they want hugs. He said, well, charge them. So I'd say, okay. So I'd go back out to the dressing room. They'd say, little Dundee, can I have a hug? I'd say, ma'am, hugs are $1 and kisses are $2. And them old bitches say, well, here's $5. Give me 2 of each. I'd say, oh, no. But I'd do it. I would prostitute myself and I would do it. In 1978, I'd come home with $30. That was a lot of money, man.
You mentioned Wolfie D. How is your relationship with today with Wolfie D? Because he mentioned a couple podcasts that him and you weren't too friendly because you no-showed. What happened?
The no-show part is irrelevant. It's life. In life, things go on. People change. People. You know what I mean? Literally, Wolfie, I just talked to Wolfie a while ago. Matter of fact, I'm glad you brought his name up. I'm going to plug Wolfie's book. I'm going to give him a plug right here. His fucking book. Listen, from the moment, because I would rather go to jail for 48 hours than read any fucking thing. I hate to fucking read. When everything on my phone, I push the button, it talks it to me. You know what I mean? Fuck reading, man. I read for fucking 17 years and never got out of the 8th grade. Fuck that. I don't care. I don't want to read. If I want to read, I've been a doctor. But me and Wolfie, it's one of those things. Times change, man. And, I love Wolfie. I will hurt when something happens to Wolfie. But I don't have to see Wolfie every day, and I don't have to talk to Wolfie every day. It is what it is, the wrestling business. And in the wrestling business, sometimes it's years before you saw other brothers, but nothing changed. You know what I mean? And just because I no-showed, he ought to be thankful for that. He got fucking paid 4 times for me no-showing 3 of them. Because, honestly, right? He did it all fucking wrong. He should have been thrilled to be there and get paid and shut the fuck up and go home and then come back and do it again because Dundee said he's coming. And if I show up, so what? And if I don't, fucking get your money, shut the fuck up and go home. But we just did a show. We just did one of those fucking conventions things, which I hate them. We just did that last month. And, I did it with him. I loved him. We laughed. We cried. We hugged. We saw each other for fucking 24 hours straight. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things, I love Wolfie. Wolfie will always be a part of my life, but he doesn't have to be a figure in my life every day of every moment because I'm not in the wrestling business. I don't give a fuck about the wrestling business no more. Once I got out of the wrestling business, my life got good. For real.
Yeah. When you came out of the wrestling business, you did a lot of stuff with Jerry Springer. All right.
Yeah.
And that was really big. And you were one of the biggest guests on that show. I have a picture right here.
Ever. And that's priceless, brother. That's fucking priceless because it was a work. The whole thing was a work. My shows were real shows. Someone called in and said, I am this person. And they said, man, we don't want to fuck with this dude. He's crazy. Get Dundee to play it. So therefore, I would come on there and play it to the best of my ability. What I would think this is the way this person would act, because that's what I am. I'm an entertainer. I am fucking, that's what I do. If you want me to wear a tutu and sling off the fucking ceiling fan in my goddamn underwear by my balls, I will, if it pays the right amount of money that I think it should. And I don't give a fuck what nobody else thinks. I am an entertainer. Because those that know me know that I'm not a convict who's sleeping with men, who's fucking in the prison system. But those that don't know me, they believed it so much that they voted worst guest ever. And that's fucking huge, man. That's priceless in my entertainment world.
So you were always doing work for them. They actually were helping them book, correct?
Yeah, more or less. Listen, that's why they love me. They would call me on a Sunday night and they would say, Jamie, we need a one-legged transvestite black midget to join the Ku Klux Klan. And I'd say, I'll find him. And I'd hang the fucking phone up and I would find him. And I'd call him back. I'd say, I got one, but he's got fucking one leg and one arm. That's fine. Bring him on. Whatever. Because people used to say, where does Jerry Springer find these people? And I'd always say, he don't. I fucking do.
You found
that's my job. That's what I do.
Okay, 100%. Now you were also with Wolfie D. You went into the Nation of Domination. Was that your biggest point of your career when you're with the Nation? What do you think?
Depends on what. It depends on how you look at it. Because I'm from a territory days. Yes. Me and Wolfie fucking drew big money in our territory. We were 16-time tag team champions. Matter of fact, Ricky Morton, Jeff Jarrett, Jerry Jarrett. Everybody said if it wasn't for me and Wolfie, that company would have closed 8 years earlier than it did. When fucking Lawler and Jarrett left and Brian and them started going to WWF, they didn't have, me and Wolfie carried that fucking company. You don't know it. I've always said you don't know you're over until you're over. You know what I mean? You don't know you're over until the whole thing's over. And then you go, fuck, they were there to see me. It never dawns on you. You're just going to work, doing what you love, and it's part of your job. And then you don't realize that you're in the main event and the fucking building's packed because of you. You don't sit there and go, oh, this is because of me. You don't realize it. And then when it fucking ends, you go, fuck, they were there because of me. You know, it's always been that way. The promoter keeps the money and you get the glory, but you don't realize it until it's fucking like, wow, man. You're like, damn it. I didn't realize that, man. Wish I'd have known that then. I would ask for more money.
The wrestling today, I really don't watch. It was much better back in your day.
Me neither, brother.
What do you think what do you think they're missing? What do you think they're missing? I don't know. It's
believability, as the fucking the fucking cream of the crop, Jerry Jarrett has said. Believability is what made wrestling. It's like magic. David Copperfield and fucking David Blaine and fucking Chris Angel and them dudes. That shit is unbelievable. And I love watching it. And I don't want to know how it's done because I'm impressed the way it is because I believe that fucking Statue of Liberty disappeared when David Copperfield said it did because I looked and it wasn't there. I didn't see it. And but I know it didn't go nowhere, but I damn sure know that it was gone when I was looking at it. It's the believability part. I say this on a lot of podcasts. Archie Bunker, from the good old days in fucking television in the 70s. Meathead's he's watching wrestling one time, and Meathead comes in and he says to him, "Oh, Archie, what are you watching that garbage for?" He said, "They know who's going to win or lose." And Archie says, "Yeah, they do, but I don't." And that is what is missing out of wrestling. You turn the TV on now, you can say that guy is fixing to beat that guy, and that's a fact. There's no mystique, there's no mystery, there's no nothing. The believability part is gone.
100%. Like back in today's wrestling, they tell them what to say, what to do. You cut a promo like that. You know how to cut a promo.
Yeah, and that's funny you say that because they've been doing that since 1995 and 97 when we went to the WWF. Because when me and Wolfie went to the WWF and we had to do the interview for the Smoking Guns, it said on the fucking camera, it said Wolf and it had some fucking words, and it said Ice and it had some words. It said Wolf, it had some words, it said Ice, and it was scrolling. And me and Wolfie said, What the fuck is that? And that guy said, "That's what y'all are gonna say." And I said, "How the fuck you know what I'm going to say? I don't even know what I'm going to say. How do you know what I'm going to say?" I said, "Turn that shit off. Tell me how long I got. Let's get this done." So they turned that shit off. They said, "Y'all got a minute and a half interview," and me and Wolfie nailed it and went on to the house. That's the difference. That is the difference in their wrestling and our wrestling, because I told it to them in the way I believed it because I believed we could beat them. You see what I'm saying? My dad said in that movie, it's called Memphis Heat. If those have never seen it, go watch it. It'll really give you an insight on wrestling, and it's fucking great. My dad says the reason the wrestling was great then is because the people believed, and then he said, "Fuck, if they believed, we believed." You know what I mean? I believe that I can beat that Smoking Guns for them WWF titles, and I will show you that. Just tell me, because we have to sell our product. Because see, we did what most people never did, and that is go to the same town on the same day every week for fucking 25 years. Try that. Tell Vince McMahon to take that fucking card, or whoever runs that shit today, tell them to take that card. I want them to pick one town a night for 7 nights. That's 7 towns, and go to that fucking town every single week for fucking 30 years and see how many people they fucking get to show up after 2 weeks. You see, that's the difference. That is the difference in there, is because the people can call it. In our day, they couldn't call it. If they said this is right here is what's going to happen, you bet your ass we went another direction with it. You bet your ass we did, because they're never going to call what we do, because if they do, then it becomes what it is today, garbage. It becomes dull and boring.
100%. Did you prefer heel or babyface?
Depends on the way you look at that. I prefer heel, because that way you don't have to fucking deal with people if you don't want to.
And that's true.
But I prefer the baby face so I can sell the pictures and fucking t-shirts and the girls' panties and whatever. And heels get just as much ass as baby faces did. It just in a different concept. The baby faces got to get the picture money. Because see, like when we did our angle with Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert, or Gorgeous George and Tommy and Doug came back, Eddie had just passed away. When we did that angle, me and Wolfie made $300 or $400 a night in pictures every single fucking night. A couple $100 a piece. So therefore, they had to pay Tommy and Doug and them $300 or $400 more a night to wrestle us, because that ain't right. It ain't right to give me fucking 300, them 300, then we make another, so we make 700 a night. They make 3. Fuck that. The heels do all the work. Everybody, if you know real wrestling, the heels do all the work. Without the heels, the baby faces can't get over. If a heel's bumping and flying and fucking, when Lawler pulled the strap, baby, every fucking person in the building went to the mat, even referee, I don't care, the mayor, whoever, they all went to the fucking mat if Jerry Lawler pulled the strap. And that's the believability part. So therefore, you must pay them heels a little more money to make them baby faces look good. I've always said Rey Mysterio is my hero, but Rey Mysterio can't look as good as he does if I'm not there to catch him. It takes the guy that catches Ray to make Ray look that good. So really, it's not up to Ray. It's up to the fucking guy he trusts to catch him to make him look that good. You see what I'm saying?
100%. You think social media killed kayfabe? Social media killed fake kayfabe?
I believe wrestlers kill kayfabe. If you really want the fucking truth, I believe they married all the ring rats and smartened them up, and therefore, and that was the end of it. From the Undertaker down to fucking The Rock, any of them, they all married ring rats at one time or another because they're the first ones to throw that ass on you. You don't know. Oh, you're all in love. You get married, and then you realize you got to throw that ass on everybody in the fucking dressing room and the fucking promoter. So therefore, I believe that is what killed wrestling. I'm dead serious. Social media, all it did was confirm what people thought they already knew.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It didn't it didn't expose nothing, nobody, because like I've always tell my kids and I tell everybody, the internet is only as smart as we let it be. Because somebody has to type that in the first fucking time to make it believable. You see what I'm saying? If you go to Wikipedia and type in my name, it's going to tell you my birthday is July 5th. That is not fucking true. My birthday is June 17th. But someone the first time that fucking put that in Wikipedia put July 5th. So therefore the world thinks every July 5th I get million fucking thousands of happy birthdays, and I just say thank you. Because I don't want to explain to them all that my birthday was fucking 5 weeks ago. So I just go, thank you. So half the world thinks I was born July 5th. The other half thinks I was born June 17th. You see what I'm saying? It's only as believable as we fucking put it in there to be. If me and you right now made up something, type it in the fucking internet, put it on Google, put it on Wikipedia, put it on TikTok, by the year 2030, that would be fucking a true statement and law, and me and you made it up right now. You see?
Wow. Yep. 100%.
Very much so. For sure.
Who was the stiffest wrestler that you had to give a receipt to that you thought didn't work with you?
Well, I didn't give many receipts because I'm not a big dude. And I just took it all as in fucking, this ain't ballet dancing. They'd say, boy, it's pro wrestling. It ain't ballet fucking dancing. Mm-hmm. So I just took it as that. You know, my brother-in-law is Bobby Eaton. My daddy's Bill Dundee. I've been taking bumps since I was 8 fucking years old. So to me, you know, it ain't ballet dancing, son. You know, I don't think I've ever gave a receipt. I maybe wanted to, but I haven't never gave any because not on purpose. But I damn sure have put my shit in there that Tracy Smothers used to say, do I owe you fucking money, Dundee? You have wore this fucking side of my eye out, man.
Did you ever meet Andre the Giant?
Well, I met him, but I was 8, so I really don't remember meeting him.
Oh, you don't remember? Okay.
You know, because if people do their history and they believe the internet, if you go back, Jerry Lawler was the first person to ever beat Andre the Giant. He beat him in 1978 in Louisville Gardens in Louisville, Kentucky. But it wasn't advertised. It wasn't promoted. Fucking Andre was on the way to go start the WWF or whatever it was, 17 W's and an F. And the fucking on the way there, Lawler convinced him to stop in, and they did a match, and Lawler beats him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets to Vince and them, they're so fucking irate and mad. But back then there was no internet, there was no cable TV, there was no media, there was no way to tell that fucking Lawler had beat him. You see what I'm saying? So he could still be billed as undefeated fucking 8th wonder of the world. But the boys knew, and so it was like big heat for Andre. But not that Andre gave a fuck. You know, Andre's Andre. He didn't care. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're a fucking 7'8" and you can drink 123 beers at one sitting and 9 bottles of wine, and you can fucking, you know, you in an airplane, you got to buy 2 seats. You can pretty well do what the fuck you want in this world.
Yeah, you're right. So we're talking about the Nation of Domination. The Rock is actually within the Nation of Domination. Sure. You obviously knew The Rock. He's the biggest star in the world. Did you think he was going to be the star he is today?
No, and neither did he. I mean, nobody says, hey, I'm going to be the biggest star in the fucking world, but I'm glad you said his name because I like to do a segment on the fucking show called, every time I do a podcast, I do a segment called Smoking Pot with The Rock, baby. Yeah. When he was 8 years old and I was 8 years old, Dewey, you said we was going to be partners. You said my dad and Rocky Johnson were partners. They were going to be big stars. Yeah, Dewey told me we was going to be big stars. Well, you're a big star. Where the fuck am I? He kind of forgot. So I think I like to remind him every time I do a podcast, I like to do a segment called Smoking Pot with The Rock, baby. So I'll be right back. We're going to smoke some pot with The Rock, okay? So let me get my little bag of weed over here.
Go ahead, smoke the.
Yeah, let me load him up, right? Because you know what this is one of them sippy cups you get at the wrestling show. And somebody brought it to me, and they put a weed bowl on it, and they said, Dundee, we brought you this because we knew, that you grew up with The Rock. And I said, yeah, and The Rock owes me a contract or something. So we're going to smoke pot with a rock. We'll be right back, y'all. We're going to smoke pot with a rock. Take a break. Plug your commercials or whatever you got to do.
You got to do. That's
Maybe
right.
one day he'll call me and I'll be rich like him. He's got $800 million. You know that? Hell, he can loan me
like
one
that.
and still have 799 of them. God.
Yep. Guys, while he's smoking with the rock, go to equipfoods.com and use code JerZeyJZ and get 15% off your order. As he's taking a little break there with Smoking with the Rock, Jamie Dundee.
Smoking hot with the rock, baby. Yes, sir. That's all about it, man. Because I remember, he may not remember, but I remember when we was 8 years old, you said we'd be tag team partners. Well, you didn't keep your end of the deal.
You were in ECW. How was that different from then WWE?
ECW was like me all the time. It was just full of a bunch of me's. So there's a whole bunch of people always say, Jamie Dundee, you're crazy. I said, no, I'm not. I'm just fucking real. I'm just a truth speaking. You know, I'm the type of guy, if my wife says, hey, honey, do I look fat in this shirt? I go, no, it's not the shirt. You know what I mean? I mean, give me a fucking break. Nobody's ever bought a shirt that made them look fat. It's a fucking you. You're fat. Or whatever be the product. You know, I mean, like I said, that's why Jerry Springer loved me. They could call me and ask me anything, any kind of fucking character. I would find them. Plus, it's hard to say to somebody, I want a full fucking one-legged transvestite midget black to join the clan. That's hard to say. Some people get offended for that. Fuck your feelings. Fuck your feelings. What I always say.
There's some great road stories about you in Denny's. You used to like to
None of them are true. None of them are true.
They said you used to like to walk around and show them your piece of deal.
It's called doing the bulldog. I used to tuck my nuts and my balls and everything between my legs and get down on all fours and go around in a circle and say I'm a bulldog. And it was funny. All the wrestlers would laugh. And the time you're speaking of was in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, when I was riding with Brian. This is actually how I got fired from the WWF because of this night.
Okay,
that's why my book, the name of my book is going to be You Can't Make This Shit Up, the Jamie Dundee story. Because I'm telling you, you can't make this fucking shit up, bro. We're in the Denny's and Brian Christopher and Tony Williams have got this chick. I'm naming names because it don't matter now. Tony Williams and Brian Christopher have flew this chick in from New York, and she's a Gambino. I'm sure you know who the Gambinos are, right?
Sure, of course.
She is a Gambino, a full-blooded fucking Gambino chick, and she brought 1,000 hits of ecstasy, 1,000 Valiums, and 1,000 Xanax bars with her. And we're going to turn them out, right? Well, they are. I'm just riding with them. You know, it's not. It's one of those. This is all their deal, right?
Okay.
We happen to wrestle in Louisville on a Sunday night. Okay. We have to go back to Nashville. You know, that's where I live. Drop me off in Nashville. Then they'll go back to Memphis, the Gambino girl and fucking Brian and Tony and all of her drugs. Well, we stop in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, and I've already eaten some of the ecstasy. So I'm really feeling good. I don't know if anybody out there knows what ecstasy does, but it makes you feel good. Everything, when somebody touches you, it's just really nice. Yep. So we're into fucking Denny's, and I'm feeling real well on this fucking ecstasy. And when I used to do the bulldog, you know, Brian would always hype me up and shit. So in the Denny's, he says, bet you won't do the bulldog. I said, I will do the fucking bulldog. And he said, oh, you won't do that bulldog right here in Denny's. I said, motherfucker, I'll do that bulldog right here in Denny's. So it's So it's 2:00 in the morning on a fucking Sunday night in Denny's. I drop my pants. I get butt naked. I fucking do my little bulldog on the waitress is fucking just popping like hell. She goes in the back, gets all the cooks and said, y'all got to see this motherfucker out here, man. So everybody's laughing. We're rolling. I mean, it is just a great time, I'm thinking. So we get back in the car. We go over to the gas station to leave. And as we leave, the police pull up.
Oh, boy.
And they come for me, I think. I'm pretty sure they came for me. But
I think so.
The whole altercation turned to because of her, because the cop says, the reason I stopped y'all is you littered. And that girl says, listen, I'm sorry, sir, but you're totally wrong because I am head, which she is and was, whatever, head of the Protect the Highway, no littering thing in New York. You know, you sponsor a certain amount of fucking highway and they pay and it's got the Gambino name on it. And, you know, they make sure littering's, you know, she's really big into that. So the cop says, you littered. And she says, no, you're fucking wrong. We didn't litter a damn thing. Nothing came out of my vehicle. So they start to argue. And finally, the girl says, listen, you little fucking hillbilly motherfucker. I'm telling you, I am head of the fucking do not litter department. And of course, that makes the cop mad. He throws the chick on the ground. He handcuffs her up. He hauls her to jail. And now Brian and Tony got to get this Gambino chick out of fucking jail for something she didn't do before the Gambinos come to motherfucking Louisville. Is really the bottom line. But the whole time I'm eating ecstasy, and see, Brian and them really didn't do drugs back then. So they say to me, now this is Sunday night at like 1 a.m. I got to fly out of Nashville at 8 a.m. to make the WWF Monday Night Raw show, right?
Okay.
Well, Brian and them really don't know, and they're trying to find out if the girl's got a bond and shit on the cell phone, you know. And back then, cell phones were them big fuckers. You had to plug them in your fucking lighter, and it cost $9 a minute or some shit to use. You know, they had this. Cell phones weren't even out really then, but Brian and them's got one, you know, because they're the Lawlers, and they got it plugged in. It probably cost them $240 to fucking make this call and find out if they can get this chick out of jail, you know, because they can't leave her in Louisville, Kentucky when we all live in Memphis and shit. But I don't know this. I'm on ecstasy. I'm naked in the fucking Denny's. I'm having a hell of a time, man. And so Brian changes my ticket, puts me on a plane. Coming out of Louisville, flies me into the wrong town. I show up in the WWF with an $850 cab bill, fucking 240 miles away from where I'm supposed to be on ecstasy. And it was a bad day, man. They had to pay.
Yeah, you'll never hear
probably the end of my career.
You'll never hear stories like that.
End of it.
Like today's wrestlers. Today's wrestlers will never give you stories.
You
like
can't
this.
make that up, brother. You cannot make that shit up, man. I mean, who the fuck would ever think that would happen in a 24-hour period, right?
Yeah, exactly. Vince McMahon, he's obviously was in the news a lot. Been a lot of. Did you see anything with Vince that made you think he was a little bit, a little bit crazy?
No, but I already knew that. He's got $1 billion. When you got $1 billion, you could be any fucking thing you want, bro.
Yeah,
I promise you can. Because look, I used to own a midget, and I could do anything. I was Bill Dundee's boy, and I had a midget, so I could do any fucking thing I wanted. So if you got $1 billion, you can do any. Look at P. Diddy, bro. Look at Pop Daddy. You can do any fucking thing you want in the United States of America, from raping children to fucking transporting sex across line, drugging people. If you got the right amount of money and you know the right fucking judge, you can get away with anything you want. Same as, I'm just saying, my whole entire life. That's why I have fuck you, I'm Bill's boy. Because I could get away with anything, because the fucking police down to anybody would be Bill Dundee's boy. God, they feel like they know me because they feel like they know my dad. You see what I'm saying? It was one of the many, many times. Matter of fact, just 6 months ago, right here in this little country town I moved to about 5 years ago, I went to the American Legion so I could gamble. And I walked in, and the guy says, "Can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, I want to gamble." You know, just in Kentucky, we just got slot machines like in every store and shit, right? So I'm like, "I want to gamble." He said, "Are you an American veteran?" I said, "No, sir, I'm Bill Dundee's son." And I swear to God, he said, "Oh, everybody knows Bill. Come on in." That's exactly what he said there. And I popped like a motherfucker. I was just fucking around. I just thought I was going to have to leave, right? He said, "Oh, fuck, everybody knows Bill. Come on in, Bill." Like I said, if my daddy going to pave the road, I'm going to drive down the motherfucker, man.
That's right.
America's not about what you know. It's who you know, no matter what it is. No matter what it is. No matter if it's job, fucking, no matter what. It ain't what you know. It's who you know, man.
Yeah. Did you just say you owned a midget?
Oh yeah, I've always said that. People always go, "Own the midget." Fuck yeah, I own my midget. My midget's name was Danny Flowery. He used to go to the ring with me and Wolfie. His name was Midget D when we wrestled. But I got Danny from a promoter named Dale Mann, who was his legal guardian. And Dale was getting old, and he's like, I can't do it no more. And I'm like, "Give him to me, man." So Danny is my boy. I love Danny. He died in 2002 because he was crazier than me, but a midget got a mental check and everything. He was so much fucking fun. Me and Kid Rock both knew if you owned a midget, you can get away with anything. When you own a midget, bro, you can cut line. You can fucking do, "Oh, watch out, back up, my midget's coming through." You say midget, people fucking part. Goddamn, you can, I mean, anything you want to do. If the police pulled me over one time and made my two midgets get out and wrestle on the side of the road and then let me go. If you own a midget, you can get away with anything, bro. They're funner than dogs.
Do you still talk to any of the other boys, all the other wrestlers, or no? You kind of, because it's not the same.
I talk to Jeff Jarrett all the time. I talk to Jeff, whether Jeff wants to or not. I talk to Jeff. I send Jeff messages at 1 a.m, 4 a.m. Fucking, I send Jeff, but I've known Jeff my whole entire life. You know what I mean? I've known Lawler my whole entire life. I talk to Handsome Jimmy, and I send him a message all the time that just says, "I love you, Boogie." Boogie moved in my dad's house with me when I was 16, and my mom and dad got divorced, and Boogie and his wife got divorced. So Handsome moved in, and we only had 3 rules in the house. The first rule was Bill Dundee cooked the food. The second rule was, handsome Jimmy, wash the dishes. And the third rule was, Jamie, you just eat. It was the greatest fucking time of my life. All I had to do was eat. It was fucking great. We had a hot tub and 3 wrestlers, and we had fucking chicks, and it's great. As a matter of fact, Handsome tells a few good stories in his book about living with the Dundees, man. You know?
That's crazy. You were in WCW for a little bit.
It's only crazy if you're not there. It's only crazy. My wife says that all the time. My wife says, Jamie, the fucking things you have done and seen, it is crazy. I'm like, it's not crazy. If everybody's doing it, it can't be wrong.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
Every fucking buddy I know is doing it. That shit ain't wrong. It ain't wrong to fucking be 13, snort cocaine, fucking 25-year-old strippers. That's not wrong. If everybody's doing it.
You know, we lost a lot of wrestlers passed away, and I'm surprised you're still alive, to be honest with you. You know, because you lived a crazy life.
That is that's so funny you say that. You know why that is? I'm getting everybody back. I'm gonna tell you a true story. My buddy the other day, fucking had a girl and she robbed him twice. They hooked up. She fucking robbed him for like $2,000. They hooked up again. She robbed him. He married her. That's the greatest shit in the world. That's how you get that bitch back. You marry that motherfucker. That's priceless, bro. It's priceless.
It is priceless, man. You know, but you know, again, I just want to thank you. I know we got to run out. I got to run out some time, but thank you again for coming on. You're a world of stories, man. I could talk to you forever, but I want to be respectful for your time. Maybe we could do it again. You know,
man, you know, that's great because I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book one day, and it's going to full of all them stories, but I promise they're all true. I got witnesses.
I know you do, man. Well, where can people look for you? You're on Instagram. You're on Facebook. You're on Instagram and Facebook, correct?
Yeah, I didn't know it, but I mean, I've been on Facebook for years, but Instagram and TikTok and all that, years ago, I guess I synced it up because I kept getting these notifications telling me TikTok, and I'm like, I'm not on there, but I am. All my shit I put on Facebook automatically goes there, so I guess I am. So that's where I think I saw and found you was on Instagram, wasn't it? I just now figured out how to sign in and shit.
Yeah. Well, stay healthy, man. We love you. Stay healthy and be good.
Thank you, brother.
All right, I'll talk to you soon, man.
I appreciate it, man. And I'll take care of yourself. Joe, hey, Paisan, give me a motherfucking calzone. I need a calzone.
Later, brother. Thank you, my man.
Started from nothing. Jersey streets, we owned it. JayZ pumping iron. Bodybuilder coding. Years on the course.